Good morning, everyone, and happy Sunday. My name is Bobbi Jo Machholz, and I am a mindset coach and a yoga teacher. In today's topic, we're going to be talking about prosperity. But first, to those gentlemen out there, I'd like to wish you a wonderful and happy Father's Day. I hope it's a great day celebrating amazing you. And also, I'd like to say happy summer. It's officially here. Hope you have a nice, long, abundant summer. So before we start, I wanted to ask you, what does prosperity mean to you? What does it mean? At first, I think we tend to think like wealth, riches. But as I was drinking my coffee outside this morning, I was just thinking, I have prosperity in my life, just everything, breath, looking at the sun coming through the plants and bouncing off the flora, to listen to the birds. To have all of this to me is prosperity. It's to have abundance of all riches and family, friends, good food. That to me is prosperity. And if you look up the definition, it is a noun. And it's a state of being prosperous, or a successful, flourishing, or thriving condition, especially in financial respects and good fortune. I had to giggle to myself when Doreen asked me if I would do a sermon on prosperity. Because being a mindset coach, I deal with this a lot in abundance and like, what are we attracting and what is our thoughts? And because I giggled is because I just happened to be reading this book, You Too Can Be Prosperous, by Dr. Robert A. Russell. And I'm sure a lot of you even know this book. So it wasn't my intention to talk today and to read from a book, but he talks so eloquently that I just had to go ahead and I'm going to have to just read some for like 10 minutes. So sit back, relax, sip your coffee, take a deep breath, and just close your eyes. Maybe pause this and go make a cup of tea for yourself and just really listen to his words. They're really powerful. True prosperity is not measured in terms of palaces, servants, cars, chauffeurs, fur coats, and real estate, but in achievement, contentment, confidence, freedom, inspiration, beauty. In a clear conscience, abounding health and energy, rich thoughts and deep awareness, and harmonious relations with others, love and devotion of friends, guidance in times of uncertainty, courage in the presence of fear, protection in the midst of danger, and peace of mind. And in the sense of joy that comes from the realization that God is instant and unfailing supply. So I think when they say supply, we use it as source or energy, formless substance, some say. Isn't this just so powerful? I don't think I could have wrote something this great. So I'm just going to keep continuing. Everything we need or desire is at hand, but we must resolve it into what we require. How do we transform the invisible substance into visible wealth? By the cultivation and circulation of rich ideas. When we identify ourselves with rich ideas, ideas of wealth, opulence, affluence, prosperity, and plenty, we become channels fit to receive the outpouring of God's abundance. Jesus said, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you." In other words, we must shape our thoughts, desires, and aspirations to the divine pattern. Since prosperity is in the divine plan for us, it is our duty to express prosperity in every phase of our living. Since it is God's will and intention for us to be prosperous and successful, there must lie hidden in the soul of possibility of a greater experience, an infinite possibility that will remain inactive until we set it in motion. If we have been in the habit of thinking of prosperity in terms of money or material possessions, we must change our thought. True prosperity, as referred to in the Bible, is not an end in itself, but a means to greater freedom, increased livingness, and fuller expression of life. I mean, this is just so great. It is related not to the number of things that a man owns, but to the satisfaction he finds in the way he uses them, to the happiness he derives from them. There are many reasons why we fail to attract what we want from life. The chief causes of failure are our limited capacities and our feeble expectations. We ask for inferior things when we might just as well have the best. We are like the woman who prayed that she might reach her uncle's bedside before he died instead of praying that her uncle might be healed. Or the young man who prayed for his part of his tuition and got a third when he might have had it all. Or the minister who prayed all his life for just enough to meet his daily needs. God gave him what he asked for and no more. He never realized that he limited God's giving by his meager requests. So we ask for inferior or lesser things. We do so because our faith in God's promise is weak. If God is impersonal law, and there is no great and no small, as Emerson said, it makes no difference to God whether we ask for the most expensive or the cheapest article. He gives one just as readily as he does another. So now let us ask a question. What is this greater prosperity? How does one realize it? The only prosperity worth having is God. He is the source of every good and every perfect gift. If we have him, our prosperity is enduring and satisfying. If we do not have him, our prosperity is fugitive, fleeting, and uncertain. Let us go back to the statement that God is the only prosperity worth having. What does it mean? Why do we say that God is man's all-sufficient prosperity and complete expression? We can make these statements with confidence, for God is the source of all life, substance, form. If we build our finances on human strength rather than on the strength of God, on mortal wisdom rather than on divine wisdom, our prosperity will never be very great. We will never be really happy in our possessions because of a lurking fear that someone may take them away from us. Failures and frustrations are the lot of those who believe that prosperity comes through man and can be lost through the same agent. Now let us ask again, what is this thing we call prosperity? Prosperity is wealth. What then is wealth? The word wealth is from an old Anglo-Saxon word that means wheel, W-E-A-L, wheel. Your wealth is your wheel. It is your good. It may be anything from a porterhouse steak to a skyscraper. It may be a new car in your garage, a big balance in your bank, a yacht in the harbor, a turkey on the table, a fine wardrobe, or expensive jewelry. Your wealth is your good, or as Jesus said, your bread. Give us this day our daily bread. Jesus in these words is not beseeching and imploring a reluctant God for food. He is saying simply, all is good is mine. It is that I am. I accepted daily bread, shelter, clothing, amusement, travel, education. All things that the Father hath are mine. Jesus is calling you to let go and let God. Life is a state of consciousness. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Change is your consciousness. Change your world. Change your consciousness, and you change your wheel. In the universe, there is but one law, one presence, one power, one substance. That substance is energy, choosing to condense itself through your consciousness. Isn't that great? You need to write that down and have that book. Can you see it? Yes. So, having prosperity isn't about you live in California or Maine, that it's not your profession, it's not your job. It's not if you're smart or not smart, or educated or not educated. It's a way that we think in a certain way. What's that book? Waddles. I don't know. This is another book. So this book was written in 1950, and then this book was written in 1903. This is another favorite of mine, Waddles. And again, it's the science of getting rich. But again, rich doesn't mean money. Rich in just life. And here it talks about how we have to do things in a certain way. And those ways are the laws of the universe. They're so precise, and we can have anything that we want once you know how to work with these laws. And these laws don't work for just one person and not another. Like think of there's like the 7 main laws, and gravity is not one of the main laws, although it is a main law. And you think about that. Gravity doesn't just work. You know what? We're not going to have gravity hang out with Bobbi Jo today. We're just going to watch her float and be funny. Gravity works for me, it works for you. So don't these other laws. So what are you thinking about? What you want or what you don't want? What else did I want? Just also that, as human beings, we're here. So if somebody has this dream job that you love, or this dream house, or if there's something that you're feeling that you're in lack of, well, you gotta ask yourself, why is it that that person has it and not you? Because God has made us all perfect, and we humans are all equally made the same. They don't possess any Superman powers. But you know what they do? I always say the grass looks greener on the other side, and you know why it's greener? Because they fertilized it. And they fertilized it with their mind and with their thoughts. So you can easily say, I want to be prosperous. I want to have more. But then do you believe that? It's about the consciousness of the mind. I love that Ralph Waldo Emerson, one of my most favorite quotes, and I kind of laughed the other day. I heard it three times in one day. Like I would just listen to an audio podcast, and it was like the same quote. And it was, a man is what he thinks about all day long. So you having prosperous thoughts or not? And I love another, it's not really a quote, but if you look at all the leaders, all the successful people, even from Buddha to the presidents to world leaders, they rarely all agree on anything. But what they have all said is that what we think about, we become. So are you having prosperous thoughts? This is what the secret to your prosperity is. It's your thoughts. The more you expect, the more your consciousness will attract. And why is that? Because you have a thought. If that thought is like something that you really love, like the way you love your husband, dog, or child, that love, you're putting yourself in a certain vibration, a certain frequency. And like things attracted to like things. So you can't just say, I want to be prosperous. I want to have that house when there's no emotion to it. You got to get on that level and attract that to you. And of all these great books that I read, I mean, I have so many. This Power of Awareness and U Squared and Your Invisible Power. You have all these wonderful books, and this one's a good one too. I don't know if any of you, God Works Through You. That also is by Robert Russell. That they all say the same thing. Come from the place of already having the wish fulfilled. Because source, God, energy, it is all working for us. And everything that we are seeking is seeking us. But what happens is our thoughts get in the way. So we might think, so much like 20% of what we want, but then 80% of it's negativity. We don't believe. We have these beliefs in us, even though we say we believe, and we hold ourselves back. So the more you expect, the more your consciousness will attract. But I think what happens is that we pray for prosperity, we want it, but then we just really don't believe that we're worthy of it. So I'm here to tell you, you can have anything, be anything, do anything. Because if other people can do it, why can't you? You're the only thing that's holding yourself back. I'm going to end by just reading this quickly by Robert Collier. I think he also just kind of says it great here. Every condition, every experience of life is the result of a mental attitude. We can do only what we think we can do. We can be only what we think we can be. We can have only what we think we can have. What we do, what we are, what we have, all depends upon what we think. We can never express anything that we do not first have in mind. The secret of all power, all success, all riches is in first thinking powerful thoughts, successful thoughts, thoughts of wealth and supply. We must build them in our own minds first. Because as I said, Source and the universe is here working for us. So we have to see and visualize what it is that we want and feel it, and they will be delivered. There can be no other way. And I want to end this on that one quote that I read earlier, that we are all one. One mind substance, power source. We are unity. We are one. Being the yoga teacher, namaste. And so while I was doing some stuff and looking around the other day on the internet, I saw some feng shui. If you want to know a little bit of feng shui before we go into meditation, that there was 8 steps if you want to do some feng shui in the house to bring prosperity in. I thought this would be a little fun. First is your belief about money. Write down all the negative beliefs that you have about money. And they said crumble up the paper. I say rip it up, or what I do is burn it and send it with love. Let those negative, because why can one man be wealthy and another man not? Maybe I used to think, I grew up in Cape Cod and I always thought money bred money because a lot of my friends I went to school with were wealthy. And then they were born and then they married wealthy, but it wasn't that. They just didn't have a money consciousness. They didn't have a paradigm about it and being a negative thing. It was just always around and always abundant. And so why would it not continue to flow to them and attract? So write down your negative beliefs about money and burn it. And then these 8 steps for feng shui. One is getting rid of all the clutter. Get rid of all the extra stuff. I think at COVID, I think a lot of us did this. And they said go in the far left corner. Well, mine over my far left, that's an infrared sauna, but the far left corner, clear it out. So get rid of the clutter, detox your home. Start using better ingredients like lemon, vinegar, baking soda. I use Thieves from Young Living. It's amazing stuff. 3 was clean windows. This is symbolic to fresh eyes to approach life in new ways with a clear mind. 4, grow plants, the ultimate symbol of nature and abundance. 5 was use your kitchen. It's an ancient symbol of prosperity, and especially this day and age where we're not as healthy as we used to be because our food supply source isn't as good. So that's a sign of prosperity, so use the kitchen. 6 was give more. This is one of the laws I coach, the laws of cause and effect, right? What you reap, you sow. What you give out comes back. That's a definite one. I like that. And then 7 was welcome in guests. That make some room, some space for having friends over for tea. And I'm not sure whether they said put red in the room or flowers, but when you do this, this sets up the energy for great people with great energy. So that was awesome. And then 8 was play more, definitely. That stress brings stagnation into our life. That play encourages the flow of energy and to be more creative. Get out there and do some artwork. Doesn't matter who sees it or not. So to get out and play. So those were the 8 things, and that doing these things empowers your space, boosting the mood and enriching your energy so that life can become more prosperous in everyone and every way. So there you go. Well, it's been a pleasure to talk. I know I read today, but this is always good. It gets you out of the box. It gets me talking. This is not my normal thing to do. So thank you for joining me on this beautiful Sunday. Namaste. And if you would like to right now, you could actually pause and play some music of your own. And I'm just going to take you through a little 5-minute meditation where we just ground and bring that love and light in. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and sit comfortably. Oh, getting a little fuzzy there, so good. Go ahead and just close your eyes and just land. Start to scan the body physically. Feel your feet on the ground. Maybe tap your toes. Feel your sit bones grounded in the chair or the couch or wherever you are. And just gently roll the shoulders back. And then find your breath. Take a slow, deep breath into the nose, filling the diaphragm and the lungs to their capacity and why God gave them to us. And as you exhale, open your mouth and just let go. Let go and let God. And as you slowly take another nice deep breath in, giving all 75 trillion cells fresh oxygen to the body to rejuvenate and restore and boost our immunity, open the mouth and then exhale. And just let go. Every time you exhale like that, you're letting go of stress, toxins, anxiety, depression, high blood pressure. There's a lot to be done with the breath work. So then we scan the body and we just see what's showing up for us today. How are we feeling mentally? How are you feeling emotionally? To know thyself. To just check in and have that awareness without judgment. To know that you are amazing and beautiful the way you are. And now take that slow, deep breath in and bringing in that golden love and light from God and Source that's always abundant and always ever present. Fill your heart with this love. And then we'll just take one more nice deep breath in that's forced. Open the mouth and just let go anything that you're holding on to. And now just keeping your eyes closed. feeling the energy of Source in our bodies. We'll just sit here quietly for a few minutes as maybe we think about prosperity and visualize the things that we want in our lives, but act as if we already do have them. So final breath, and just sit in silence. And then keeping your eyes closed, take a soft breath in. And it's your choice to stay here in this energy. And thank you for tuning in today. And have an amazingly blessed day. Peace and love and abundance to all of you.